What if the story of civilization is not what we think? We often imagine our human story beginning in Mesopotamia, or along the banks of the Nile. We see the first cities rising from the dust. We mark our calendars by the Great Pyramids and the standing stones of Europe. But there are places on this earth that whisper a different tale. They suggest that our history is deeper, more complex, and far more mysterious than we have ever dared to believe. These ancient whispers challenge our comfortable timelines. They ask us to look again at the dawn of humanity, not as a simple linear progression, but as a rich and varied tapestry of forgotten achievements and lost worlds that are only now beginning to reveal themselves to us. On the Indonesian island of Java, a place of lush green jungles and smoldering volcanoes, lies such an enigma. It is called Gunung Padang, which means mountain of light or mountain of enlightenment. For a long time, it was seen as a natural hill, topped with the ruins of an ancient megalithic site. But modern science has begun to peel back its layers. It has revealed something far more profound. This is no ordinary hill. It is something constructed, something deliberate. It is a structure that hints at a story reaching back into the mists of the last ice age, a time we once thought was populated only by simple hunter-gatherers, long before the great monuments we know and celebrate were ever conceived. The first encounter with Gunung Padang fills you with a sense of wonder. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and tropical flowers. The sounds of the jungle create a constant, living soundtrack. As you climb its slopes, you walk across 5 distinct terraces, each paved with volcanic stone columns. These stones are arranged with a clear purpose. Some stand upright like sentinels, while others lie flat, forming pathways and enclosures. You are not just walking on a ruin, you are walking on the rooftop of a much larger, much older secret. The very ground beneath your feet holds the key to a history that could reshape our understanding of what it means to be civilized. This place challenges everything. It asks us to reconsider the capabilities of our distant ancestors. Could a sophisticated culture have existed thousands of years before Sumeria or Egypt? Could they have possessed the knowledge and organization to build on such a monumental scale? The mystery of Gunung Padang is not just about stones and soil. It is about the potential for a lost chapter in the human saga. A chapter that tells of a people who understood engineering, who worked together, and who sought to leave a permanent mark on the world, long before the accepted dawn of civilization had even broken. The mountain waits, holding its story in silent patience. Gunung Padang is located in the West Java province of Indonesia. It sits in a landscape that feels timeless. Rolling hills are covered in a vibrant green carpet of tea plantations and dense forests. Volcanoes stand majestically on the horizon, a constant reminder of the powerful forces that shaped this land. The site itself is perched atop a hill, offering breathtaking views of the surrounding countryside. But the real beauty of Gunung Padang is not just in its location. It is in the feeling it gives you. There is a palpable sense of age here, an energy that seems to emanate from the very stones. It feels less like a ruin and more like a sleeping giant, a place that is alive with untold stories. The structure is not a random collection of rocks. It is a series of terraces, rising one above the other. These terraces are made of columnar basalt, a type of volcanic rock that forms into long geometric pillars. The builders of this site used these natural columns as their building blocks. They arranged them into walls, gateways, and mysterious chambers. Walking through the site is like walking through an open-air temple, built by hands from a forgotten time. The sheer scale of the construction is immense. Thousands upon thousands of these heavy stone columns were moved and placed with incredible precision, covering the entire surface of the 100-meter-high hill. This site was known to locals for centuries, a place of reverence and legend. However, it was first documented by Dutch colonists in the early 20th century. But even then, they only saw the surface. They cataloged it as a fascinating but relatively recent megalithic site. They did not suspect what lay hidden beneath the earth. It was only in the 21st century that a new generation of researchers, armed with modern technology, began to suspect that the visible ruins were just the tip of a colossal iceberg. They looked at the hill and saw not a natural formation, but the distinct shape of a man-made pyramid, hidden by soil and vegetation. The initial surveys brought incredible results. Ground-penetrating radar, electrical resistivity, and seismic tomography were used to peer deep into the hill without digging. The data painted a startling picture. It showed cavities, chambers, and layers of construction extending deep into the earth. The hill was not a hill at all. It was a multi-layered structure, built and rebuilt over an immense period of time. This discovery transformed Gunung Padang from a simple surface site into one of the most compelling and controversial archaeological mysteries on the planet. The mountain was beginning to give up its long-held secrets, and they were more profound than anyone had imagined. The surface of Gunung Padang is a puzzle made of stone. The 5 terraces are connected by stairways, also built from the dark, heavy basalt columns. As you ascend, you move through different zones, each with a unique layout. The stones themselves are fascinating. They are not crudely hacked from a quarry. They are natural geological formations, columnar joints that fracture into these remarkable shapes. The ancient builders clearly had a deep understanding of their local geology. They knew where to find these stones and how to transport them to this specific hill. The effort required to do this would have been staggering, demanding a highly organized and motivated community of people. Many of the stones show signs of being worked by human hands. Some have been shaped or smoothed. Others seem to have been used as tools. There are even stories of stones that produce a musical sound when struck, earning them the name singing stones. The arrangements are not random. They form patterns and alignments that suggest a sophisticated purpose. Some researchers believe these alignments are connected to astronomy, that the site was a celestial observatory. Others see the terraces as places for ritual and ceremony. The layout invites you to walk a specific path, to experience the site in a carefully choreographed way, moving ever upward toward the highest, most sacred point. The most intriguing features are the stone columns themselves. They range in size, from less than a meter to several meters long. They are laid horizontally to form floors and walls, and placed vertically to act as markers or pillars. This technique of using columnar basalt is unique. It is not found in the same way at other megalithic sites around the world. It shows a distinct cultural tradition, a unique architectural language spoken by the people who built this place. The sheer quantity of stone is hard to comprehend. It is estimated that millions of blocks were used, making it one of the largest megalithic sites in all of Southeast Asia, if not the world. Looking at these stones, you cannot help but wonder about the people who put them there. What did they believe? What were they trying to achieve? The stones are silent witnesses. They do not have inscriptions like the monuments of Egypt or Mesopotamia. Their story is told in their placement, their sheer weight, and their silent vigil over the Javanese landscape. They are a physical echo of a lost culture, a culture that had the ambition and the skill to shape a mountain, to turn a natural hill into a monumental testament to their existence. The stones do not give easy answers. They only deepen the mystery and the sense of awe. The true revelation of Gunung Padang came not from what was visible on its surface, but from what was hidden within. A team of Indonesian scientists, led by geologist Dr. Danny Hilman Natawijaja, began a comprehensive study of the site. They were not content with just studying the surface megaliths. They had a hunch that the hill itself was artificial. Using advanced geophysical survey equipment, they sent waves of energy deep into the ground. These techniques are like giving the Earth a CT scan. They allow scientists to see different densities and materials buried far below, revealing structures that have been hidden for millennia. The results of these scans were astonishing. The data showed clear evidence of multiple layers beneath the visible terraces. These were not layers of natural sediment or volcanic ash. They appeared to be distinct construction layers, each separated by a layer of earth fill. The scans revealed what looked like walls, chambers, and even tunnels buried deep inside the hill. The topmost layer, the megalithic site we can see today, was just the final and youngest phase of a much older and more complex building project. The hill was, in effect, a layered pyramid, built up over vast periods of time. To confirm the geophysical data, the research team began to take core drills. These drills pull up long cylinders of earth and rock from deep within the hill. The cores provided physical proof of what the scans had suggested. They brought up samples of worked stone and man-made mortar from depths of 5, 12, and even over 20 meters below the surface. These were not natural rock formations. They were pieces of ancient construction, buried and forgotten. The core samples showed that each building layer was different, using slightly different techniques and materials, suggesting that the site was occupied and modified by different cultures over time. This evidence painted a picture of a site with an incredibly long and complex history. It suggested a continuity of sacred purpose that spanned thousands of years. The people of each era did not abandon the site. Instead, they built upon the work of those who came before them. They covered the older structures with soil, and then built a new temple on top, a practice seen in other ancient cultures, like the ziggurats of Mesopotamia. But the potential age of these deeper layers at Gunung Padang was what would soon ignite a firestorm of controversy and challenge the very foundations of our understanding of the prehistoric world. With physical evidence of buried structures, the next crucial step was to determine their age. To do this, the research team used radiocarbon dating. This method measures the decay of carbon-14, an isotope found in all organic material. By measuring the amount of carbon-14 left in things like charcoal, bone, or ancient soil, scientists can calculate how long ago that material died. The team took organic samples from the soil and mortar found in the core drills, extracted from the different layers deep within the hill. They were looking for tiny pieces of charcoal from ancient fires, or organic matter trapped in the mortar that held the stones together. The dates that came back from the laboratory were honestly mind-boggling. The surface layer, the visible megalithic site, was dated to around 2,500 years ago, which is consistent with other megalithic sites in the region. But the layers below told a different story. The second layer, found a few meters down, yielded dates of around 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. This was already remarkable, placing construction at the site in the same era as the earliest agricultural settlements in the Fertile Crescent. But the team drilled deeper, and the dates went back even further in time, pushing the boundaries of known history. From a depth of around 12 meters, the carbon dating suggested an age of approximately 10,000 to 12,000 years. This was the period right at the end of the last ice age, a time known as the Younger Dryas. Going even deeper, to depths of over 20 meters, the team found evidence of construction that they dated to an astonishing 20,000 to 28,000 years ago. If these dates are correct, it would mean that organized, large-scale construction was happening at Gunung Padang long before the ice sheets had fully retreated in the northern hemisphere. It would predate the pyramids of Giza by over 20,000 years. This timeline is, well, revolutionary. It suggests the existence of a sophisticated human culture in Southeast Asia, at a time when most of the world was thought to be populated by small bands of hunter-gatherers living in caves or simple shelters. The idea that such a culture could organize the labor and possess the engineering knowledge to build a massive pyramid-like structure is profoundly challenging to the established model of human prehistory. It implies that civilization did not begin in one place and spread outwards, but may have emerged independently in different parts of the world, and far earlier than we ever thought possible. The extraordinary claims about the age of Gunung Padang were met with significant skepticism from the mainstream archaeological community. Many experts questioned the methodology and the interpretation of the data. One of the main points of contention is the nature of the samples that were dated. Critics argue that the organic material found deep within the hill could be naturally occurring. For example, charcoal could have been washed down into cracks in the rock by rainwater over thousands of years. It would not necessarily be from a fire built by the constructors of the site. Therefore, dating this material would only tell you the age of the charcoal, not the age of the structure itself. Another major concern is the interpretation of the geophysical data. While the scans show anomalies that look like chambers and walls, Some geologists argue that these could be natural formations. Columnar basalt can fracture and weather in complex ways, creating voids and layers that might look artificial on a radar scan. They suggest that what is being interpreted as a man-made pyramid could, in fact, be the weathered core of a natural volcanic neck, a geological feature common in this region. They argue that more extensive excavation is needed to prove that these buried features are definitively man-made, and not just tricks of geology. The debate also centers on the cultural context. If an advanced civilization existed here 20,000 years ago, where is the other evidence? Archaeologists expect to find a whole range of artifacts associated with such a culture: tools, pottery, burial sites, and the remains of settlements. So far, the extensive evidence needed to support the existence of such an ancient and advanced society has not been found in the surrounding area. Mainstream archaeology works by building a picture from many different sources of evidence. The radical dates from Gunung Padang currently stand in isolation, without the supporting context that would make them easier to accept. This clash between the research team at Gunung Padang and the wider archaeological world highlights a fundamental tension in science. On one hand, there is the need for bold new ideas that challenge existing paradigms. On the other, there is the need for rigorous, verifiable evidence that can withstand intense scrutiny. The team at Gunung Padang believes they have found that evidence, while many of their peers remain unconvinced. The controversy is not about dismissing the site, which everyone agrees is important. It is about the scientific process itself, and the high burden of proof required to rewrite the first chapter of human history. If we entertain the possibility that the oldest dates for Gunung Padang are accurate, we are forced to imagine a world very different from the one in our history books. A civilization thriving at the end of the last ice age would have faced a dramatically different environment. Sea levels were much lower. The islands of Java, Sumatra, and Borneo were all connected to mainland Asia, forming a vast continent known as Sundaland. This was a rich and fertile land, a tropical paradise that was eventually submerged by rising seas as the ice caps melted. Could this lost land have been the home of a forgotten civilization? The skills required to build the deepest layers of Gunung Padang would have been remarkable. It would have meant a deep understanding of engineering and geology. It would have required a social structure capable of organizing a large workforce for a long-term project. These are all hallmarks of what we call civilization. If such a society existed in Sundaland, it would mean that key developments like large-scale construction and social organization are not recent inventions. They could be a much older part of the human story, a part that was lost when the seas rose and submerged the world they knew. This idea connects with legends from all over the world. Many ancient cultures have stories of a great flood and a golden age before it, a time when ancestors possessed great wisdom. Plato wrote of Atlantis, a mighty island nation that was swallowed by the sea. While these are just stories, the discovery of a potentially very ancient, sophisticated site in a region that was profoundly affected by sea level rise is tantalizing. It gives a possible real-world context to these persistent myths. It suggests that perhaps there is a kernel of truth in the legends of a lost antediluvian world. The question then becomes, what happened to these people? If they were so advanced, why did their knowledge seemingly disappear for thousands of years before re-emerging in places like Sumer and Egypt? One possibility is that their civilization was destroyed by the very climate change that ended the Ice Age. The rapid rise in sea levels would have been catastrophic, displacing populations and causing societal collapse. Perhaps only fragments of their knowledge survived, carried by refugees who passed down their stories and skills. Gunung Padang, being on high ground, would have survived the flood, a silent monument to a world lost beneath the waves. The implications of Gunung Padang, if the older dates are confirmed, are staggering. Our current model of history is a neat, linear progression. It begins with hunter-gatherers, who then develop agriculture around 10,000 years ago. This leads to settled villages, then cities, and finally the great civilizations of the ancient world. This story is centered on the Middle East, the cradle of civilization. Gunung Padang completely disrupts this narrative. It suggests that complex, large-scale construction, a key indicator of civilization, may have appeared tens of thousands of years earlier, and in a completely different part of the world. This does not mean our current understanding is wrong, but that it might be incomplete. It suggests that human history is not a single linear story, but a collection of many different stories. Perhaps civilization has risen and fallen multiple times throughout our deep past. We may be just the latest in a long line of cultures to achieve a high level of complexity. The other chapters of this story may be lost to time, buried under soil, or submerged beneath the sea. Gunung Padang could be the first clue that allows us to start finding these lost chapters and piecing together a much richer and more accurate picture of our ancestors. The discovery also forces us to rethink the capabilities of Ice Age people. We have often pictured them as primitive, struggling for survival. But the evidence of sophisticated art from caves in Europe, and now potentially sophisticated architecture from Indonesia, suggests a very different reality. These were modern humans, just like us. They had the same brains, the same capacity for innovation, and the same drive to create meaning and leave a legacy. They may have understood acoustics, engineering, and astronomy in ways that we are only just beginning to appreciate. They were not waiting for history to begin. They were actively making it. Ultimately, the debate over Gunung Padang is a debate about who we are and where we come from. It challenges our assumptions about progress and our place in the long story of humanity. It opens up the possibility that we have underestimated our own ancestors, and that the roots of human ingenuity run much deeper than we have ever known. Whether the final verdict supports the oldest dates or not, the site has already succeeded in forcing us to ask bigger questions. It has pushed the boundaries of archaeology and reminded us that the past is still full of surprises, waiting to be unearthed. Gunung Padang remains an enigma, a place of profound questions rather than simple answers. It stands as a powerful monument, regardless of its true age. The visible terraces alone are a testament to the skill and dedication of an ancient people. They created a sacred space, a place to connect with the cosmos or the divine, by shaping a mountain with their own hands. This in itself is a remarkable human achievement. The site commands respect for the ingenuity of those who built it, whether they lived 2,500 or 25,000 years ago. It is a place that inspires humility, a reminder of the deep human impulse to build and to create something that lasts. The ongoing research and debate are healthy for our understanding of the past. Science is not about having all the answers. It is about the process of asking questions, testing theories, and slowly building a more accurate picture of reality. The controversy surrounding Gunung Padang is pushing scientists to refine their techniques, to re-examine their assumptions, and to be open to possibilities that once seemed impossible. It is through challenges like this that our knowledge grows. The mountain is not just teaching us about the past, it is teaching us how to be better scientists and historians in the present. It forces us to listen carefully to what the stones have to say. Perhaps the greatest lesson of Gunung Padang is that the Earth still holds deep secrets. In an age where we have mapped the globe and explored the deepest oceans, it is humbling to realize that a mystery of this magnitude could be hiding in plain sight, concealed by soil and jungle. It reminds us that there is still so much to discover about our own planet and our own story. It encourages a sense of wonder and curiosity about the world around us. There may be other mountains of light out there, other silent guardians of lost histories, waiting for us to ask the right questions and look beneath the surface. As we stand back and look at this Javanese hill, we are looking at the unfolding story of humanity itself. It is a story that is constantly being revised, with new discoveries adding unexpected twists and turns. Gunung Padang challenges us to be patient, to listen to the whispers of the past, and to accept that our human journey is far older, grander, and more mysterious than we have ever imagined. The dawn of civilization may not have been a single event, but a slow, unfolding sunrise that broke in different parts of the world, at different times, its earliest light only now reaching us from a time beyond memory. Subscribe to Eternal Echoes for more mysteries.